That's right. I hired another mentor. And wait till I tell you what this mentor is going to teach me. I'm pretty sure it's going to surprise you. But I did want to just talk about mentorship and the value that mentorship has had on my life and why it was such an obvious conclusion for me to seek out mentorship in this phase of my life that I'm currently in. And, I basically need help getting to the goals that I have set for myself because I have failed to achieve them on my own. So I've had musical mentors since very early on. I struggled in music trying to be self-taught for a little while, and I was just like, no, this is way too deep to be self-taught, to be at the level that I want to be, right? I didn't just want to be somebody strumming chords on a campfire. I wanted to speak the language with impeccable fluency, right? That was my goal. And I realized really quickly that, without somebody showing me the way, I would easily spend, decades of aimless practice, really not even have any confidence in what I'm doing, right? And right there, that's the big kicker with a mentor, right? You find a mentor that you can trust. What ends up happening is all of the time that you're dedicating to whatever practice that you're working on, right? Whether it's music, whether it's rock climbing, whatever it is, right? A mentor is going to give you the confidence that what you're practicing is the right thing to be practicing. And you know what that does? That improves the quality of your practice by orders of magnitude, right? Because it's like now you're sprinting towards that goal because you know what the goal is and you know exactly what steps to take toward that goal, right? So that's probably the most powerful aspect of mentorship. Another one is having another human being rejoice in your accomplishments, right? And it's not just any human being, it's somebody who's an expert in the thing that you're trying to become an expert in. So when they're rejoicing in your accomplishments, once again, you can take it to the bank that you are doing the right thing. And for those reasons, I think mentorship is like the massive hack of personal development, right? And it takes a certain type of humility to really seek out mentorship. It's a very rare person. I talk to hundreds of guitarists who are like, oh, I would never, get a mentor. I don't need it. All the information is free on the internet. I don't need somebody to show me this stuff. It's just like, you're missing the point there. Mentorship, mentality, right? Yeah, you can learn all the facts of theory. You can learn all the facts of anything on the internet by ChatGPT, but you're not going to understand the mentality, right? A mentor is instilling in you a mentality of development, a method, right? And a method is completely different than knowledge. You can have all the knowledge in the world without a method, and that knowledge will not serve you. So mentorship allows you to put all the knowledge into practice, into a method. And along with that method, there is an underlying mentality, right? So there's layers to consider. And that's why a mentorship is like a turbo booster, right? Because all those layers are clearly laid out for you and you understand exactly how to interface with all of those layers, right? And now as a teacher, right, I need to stay humble. I need to stay in the mind of my students, right? And so what I wanted to do with this current mentorship that I just engaged in is I wanted to get to the point where I could begin to feel like a complete beginner at something, like an absolute complete beginner at something, because that allows me to be a better teacher, right? And I'll tell you, right out of the gate with this new mentor, talk about humbling. It's like being punched in the stomach because, you think you're going on fine, you're not hitting your goals, but you're like, oh, it can't be that bad, right? But then when you start to become aware of the things that you weren't previously aware of, whew, man, it's like your whole world just gets flipped upside down. But that's how you know it's working. That's how you know it's working. And I just needed to have a little bit more empathy for my students who I flipped their world upside down. In one lesson, I flipped their world upside down. I give them all the tools and I show them the way and I support them through every step of the journey, but it is overwhelming to have your world absolutely flipped upside down. And I needed to get reacquainted with that. So that was a motivating factor for hiring this mentor. So now, let me tell you the nature of this mentorship, okay? This mentor, he's a financial budgeting coach, okay? Exactly, right? So a lot of you guys who've been following me for a while, I'm sure you've imagined, yeah, my teaching studio has really blown up. It's doing great. I'm really grateful for the fact that it's worked out as well as it's worked out with this small little YouTube channel, with a small little Instagram, and just putting out a lot of content. I'm finding the right people. And you guys know I charge premium for my services. And so maybe a lot of you would think like, probably should be getting rich by now, right? Nope, not at all, right? So even though my earnings have been on the rise for over a year now, consistently month over month making more money, my savings and my investments have not appreciated. So my overall wealth has not really increased. And I'm at the phase of my life where, you know, I'm looking to start raising a family soon. You know, I have a fiance I got to take care of. I want to have kids. I want to provide for them. I want to provide abundance, comfort, just a beautiful life, right? And I realize that if I keep going the way that I'm going, I'm not going to achieve those things anytime soon. And so what's interesting there is like, you could have, you know, a great income and still have the wrong mentality, right? When it comes to finances, I equate that to musicians who have like a ton of chops, but don't know the first thing about triadic voice leading, right? That's basically how my money situation is. I've got a lot of chops. I've got a good cash flow, but I don't have any underlying first principle technique of money management, none. And so my bank account and my investments are a reflection of that, right? So I needed to humble myself and get somebody to take a look under the hood at my whole, you know, situation and just show me step by step what I need to do to get to where I want to go, right? And I'll tell you, we had our first meeting yesterday and it was a doozy, man. It was a doozy. Like, humbled. Because I'm out here flying high. I'm like, oh yeah, like I started my own business. Like I get to do what I love, you know, cash flowing in. And then I have like an expert look at my finances and it's like, dude, what do you think you're doing, right? And it's just, that's when the world gets flipped upside down, right? And that's what you need. So I just wanted to make this quick little video to really speak to anyone who's been following me for a while, just this idea that like, if you have a goal and you are dead set on achieving that goal, the hack is to get a mentor who's going to show you exactly what steps you need to take to get that goal, right? There's really no reason why you wouldn't do it. And if you want to go deeper with it, think about it. Time is money. You know, I hate to equate it like that, but there is that factor, right? So if you got to pay somebody to ultimately save you a ton of time, it's gonna be worth it, right? Like I said, if I kept going on the way that I'm going on, I wouldn't reach my financial goals till it's too late, right? Maybe I would never reach them. It's the same thing with you guys who are musicians, right? It's just like, you know, you could just keep going on doing what you're doing, getting free tips from YouTube, right? But ultimately, you might be wasting time, right? And time is a precious resource. So, yeah, just wanted to convey that. All my students who are watching, I want you guys to know I'm in it with you right now. I'm getting humbled. I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm feeling like, you know, I'm having an existential crisis, learning, you know, the things that I need to learn. And I'm right there with you guys who are in my program right now going through it. You know who I'm talking to, right? I love you guys. So grateful for all my students and everybody who's just been following my journey. And I just want to make this video just to kind of be vulnerable and just be like, hey man, you know, I'm working on some stuff right now and it's humbling. So that's what I got for you. See you soon.